Welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It is so fun to have you here inside of our Spiral Up podcast community. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, and I am really excited to share with you guys a kind of a cool thing that happened to me the last couple of days. And I don't know, guys, I hope that it opens up your mind. It opens you up to the possibilities of what you have within you, this amazing secret weapon for creating results. And I'm not talking about small things. I'm talking about miraculous things. If you are willing to listen, if you're willing to essentially accept what I'm telling you and watch your life change, right? So here's a little bit of backstory, all right? I was supposed to meet with a person that I wanted to talk to about becoming an expert inside of my Spiral Up program. So my Spiral Up program has this amazing lineup of experts around the world that have expertise in things that either I don't, or that is they're next level geniuses from what I do, right? So I was going to be talking to this person, and our schedules have been aligned, and we decided that we were going to meet on a Sunday, which is normally not what either one of us do. And so I'm like, all right, awesome. Let's talk at noon. So she gets on the phone or on the Zoom or whatever, because I wanted to show her some things. So we Zoomed, and she wasn't feeling well, you guys. She was feeling miserable. She was telling me that she had had this terrible sinus infection over the last several days. I think it was 10 days. She said that her pain was a 7 out of 10, and it was mostly on the right side of her face, and it was radiating into just her jaw, and it was making it hard to sleep. It was making it hard to concentrate. She was miserable. Right. And she had gone to the doctor, and she had gotten some antibiotics, and nothing was working. And, she was doing all the things that they were telling her to do. And she was getting zero results. All right. And I'm like, oh gosh, do you want to reschedule? We were both really busy. And she's like, no, that's all right. So what's so cool about this story is that there's a lot of cool things about this story, but one of them being that God knows what we need before we know what we need. And God orchestrated our meeting at the exact time that we were supposed to meet, because he knew that I was going to be able to help her. And I think it's what she needed for herself, as far as the bigger lesson that we're going to talk about today. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, I'm like, well, if you don't want to reschedule, let's go ahead and talk about the Spiral Up program. And then, if you're open to it, I can offer you a healing session that I use energy frequency medicine. I don't do this routinely. I have a software that I use that helps to unlock mindset blocks energetically. It's freaking amazing. But one of the things that it can do is essentially heal our body physically. And it turns out that not only was she having a lot of pain, but she was having a lot of, I'm going to use the word anxiety, but I hope that I'm not misquoting her. But essentially, she had a friend, a healthy 37-year-old friend, who had recently gotten walking pneumonia and ended up getting septic and dying, healthy 37-year-old. And so she's like, Lachelle, I don't want to, I'm scared about this. I've gone to the doctor, nothing's helping. And in the back of her mind, she had a legitimate fear that this could be more than a simple sinus infection. And what if this is serious? What if it travels to her brain? What if it, makes her sick enough that she gets septic and dies? All of these things are so valid. And it was just breaking my heart. I'm like, you know what?
let's talk about Spiral Up, and then let's go ahead and do this healing session. Like, you guys, I did not have the time for it. She didn't either. We didn't plan for it, but it was just like orchestrated by God. And this is where I'm going to just remind you that if you're feeling like you can serve people, God can bend time. He can create situations that allow for that to happen. And so I just want you to remember that if he's leading you somewhere, I want you to just lean into it, because you never know what kind of impact you're going to make. You never know how you're going to be able to allow him to work through you. Okay. So we talk about the program, and then I'm like, all right, like, are you cool with time? So she goes to her bathroom because, her kids are busy. And she's like, this is the only place that I can actually get alone without being interrupted. And I did this healing session on her. And basically what it does is it draws out negative energy from the body, and it replaces with the frequencies of health and healing. And I use different techniques like muscle testing to be able to know exactly what frequencies her body needed. It kind of re-regulates the autonomic nervous system so that it allows her self to get out of that fight or flight, and allows her to get into that, we call it rest and digest, which is your parasympathetic nervous system. And she was able to start to relax. But what's so interesting is that when I started the clearing and the grounding and the releasing of some of that emotional components to it, her pain actually got a little worse. And so that really indicated to me that her emotions were definitely part of this situation. And I want to remind you guys all, just as an aside, that 85%, or some people would argue 100% of what we have going on physically in our body is a component of our emotions and our emotional state. And so anyway, we went through some of the block releasing of the emotions, and then I went into the physical part of it. You guys, she could literally feel the pain moving from different parts of her face as we were doing this. And by the time we were done, her pain was, I think she said it was gone, or maybe like a 1 out of 10. Like, it was like, holy crap, Lachelle, I have not felt this good. And it was kind of an important day for her. It was her 1-year anniversary of leaving her full-time career. They were going to celebrate, but she just felt so crappy. She said, Lachelle, I was able to get some work done. We were able to celebrate. Like, I was, at 10 o'clock at night, I still had energy. The next day she messaged me and she's like, Lachelle, my pain is gone. I feel amazing. Like, I don't know what happened, but I just want to thank you. And it was just such a beautiful testament to what's possible with God. And you guys, there's so much healing power that he has given us access to, and our own bodies, and with him as the driver, can do miraculous things. But here's the whole point of today's conversation. Here's the whole point of today's podcast. She had to believe that it was possible for her to get the transformation, for her to get the results that she got. I've been really, really geeking out on a book recently that I was listening to on Audible. I'm actually going to pull it up because I don't want to get it wrong. It's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And he talks in that book about how powerful our subconscious mind is. And basically, whatever our subconscious mind is told to do, it has to express. Like, our brain is binary, meaning that it's like literally a yes or no, on or off. And when our subconscious is given a task or what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's like computer programming. Like, it's given a thing to do, it just does, because your subconscious cannot reject. Your subconscious can only accept. So it's kind of like your butler, right? Like, you ask it to do something and then it does it. Like, it doesn't talk back. It doesn't argue with you. It just does. And so if you tell your subconscious mind, I'm about to be healed, like, this is possible, your subconscious mind says, okay. And it starts to do what it is that you want it to do. If you tell your subconscious mind, this is bullshit and none of this is going to work, then your subconscious mind says, you're right. It's bullshit. It's not going to work. And so I want you to be really, really aware that whatever you are essentially passing on into your subconscious, it is so freaking loyal that it will just do what you ask it to do. And your subconscious is the thing that's running 95% of what's going on in your subconscious brain thought processes, as well as your physical body. It's what's moving my hand as I'm talking without thinking about it. It's what's digesting the food that I just ate. It's what's helping me blink. And so your subconscious mind is freaking powerful. It's like the software that's running your entire programming. And if you're not careful on what you're feeding your subconscious, what you're telling it to do or not do, it is literally going to be like your genie, and it's going to obey you no matter what, right? And so I think that a lot of times people will go into business, they'll go into life, they'll go into anything expecting that if they see it, they can believe it. And then that makes it real. But I am telling you right now that it's what you believe that you see. That's what makes it real. And so if she were to come into this situation, right? And she's like, I have to see it in order to believe it, it wouldn't work. She had to believe first, and therefore her subconscious can accept that belief. And then she's going to see, now this is what happens. Okay. Not only does your subconscious get to work doing all the things physiologically, but your subconscious also has this natural process to look for things in the outside world to validate this belief, right? This worldview. It uses the reticular activating system. I'm going to geek out on you for a second, so you can know that I'm not full of crap. Like, there's science behind all this stuff. Your reticular activating system is what focuses on the outside world, and it validates what you believe, right? So it's like this loop that if I believe that is possible and I allow my subconscious to accept that, then my subconscious is going to then kind of close that loop and is going to look for things in the outside world that validate that. But if I tell my subconscious that's just crap, this is not going to work, then my subconscious, it's going to say, okay, sounds good. It won't work. So physiologically it won't work. And then it's going to look for evidence in the outside world to prove or validate that it does not work. And so all of that starts, you guys, with you and your conscious mind and your decision on what you're going to tell your subconscious to do. Okay? So the secret weapon for creating results is a willingness and a choice to believe that it's possible. It's a willingness to accept the fact that if I have thought over and over again that if seeing is believing, and I choose that to be 100% of my reality, my brain is just going to continue to give me what it's asked for. So really, that's not any more accurate than me saying, I know it's real. Okay. And so if you think about this, like, oh my gosh, it's like so many people are so afraid of looking stupid or foolish or like being a sucker. Like, they're not going to trick me into that. But the reality is that your subconscious is literally going to believe or take on whatever you tell it to. And so if you want to continue to do that, you're literally just self-sabotaging yourself. So if you're going to be, if all of us are suckers, essentially, like all of us are automatically going to see the results of what our conscious brain is telling our subconscious, why wouldn't you just tell your subconscious the better situation of the stick, right? Why wouldn't you just tell your subconscious, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I am so excited to see what this is going to do. Right? This comes from healing in your body. This comes from, working your business and trusting that's going to work out. This comes from knowing that your marriage is going to take a turn for the better, and all of a sudden things are going to work out. If you believe that it's not, it will 100% not. But if you believe that there's a possibility, then your brain says, okay, there's a possibility. And you're going to start to notice different ways that you're interacting with people. And it's going to close that loop with your reticular activating system because it's going to start to look for evidence. And so what I want you to do is subscribe to the possibility that what if it does? What if it does work? Like, what if I can just, for a moment, suspend my disbelief and say, you know what? I believe that God can create miracles. I believe that anything is possible with him. And allow it to take over and allow it to do what it's supposed to do and allow for it to start looking for evidence that supports that, and you're in a better situation. Like, a lot of people don't recognize the power of our brain. Like, this is something so fascinating. There's been a lot of research done with the community of dissociative identity disorder, DID. These are people who have multiple personalities. They have documented evidence, you guys, that somebody that is experiencing DID, when they're in one personality, like that personality, if they took their blood, would have like markers for high cholesterol. But if the patient is in a different personality, they'll take the exact same test and the test is normal. There have documented cases of people who have been in a specific personality and they have diabetes, and then the other personality does not have diabetes. Like, what the heck? Like, the power of our mind. We can literally heal ourselves. We can literally create so much. If you're not seeing the possibilities within your business, that is part of your block in manifesting the results, is that you don't believe it's possible. And then your subconscious says, okay, it's not possible. So then guess what? You're not going to show up. You're not going to do the scary things. You're not going to have the conversations. You're not going to be consistent. Guess what? Then it's going to just perpetuate everything in the outside world that matches that. And you literally just shot yourself in the foot. But what if you just made the conscious decision to believe that is possible? What if you just decided today that this is your year and that you know without doubt, you know, with full expectation that it's going to work out. You don't know how, you don't know who is going to come into your life. You don't know what idea is going to change everything. You don't know. You just know that it's going to work. Your subconscious accepts that because it can only accept. And your subconscious says, okay, your wish is my command. And your subconscious knows every memory, everything you've ever learned. It's like a giant file cabinet. And your subconscious is literally going to start to look for things within its file cabinets that are going to support the command that you just gave it. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're going to come up with the idea. And then quantum physics, you throw that in the mix and you're going to vibrate a little bit higher because you just have this knowing and this trust and this calmness and this security. And because you're vibrating higher energetically and vibrationally, you're going to all of a sudden meet the right people. You're going to have experiences that you wouldn't have had. Like, this is science, you guys, but you have to stop being so freaking afraid of being caught up as a fool or being, scammed or made to feel like, oh my gosh, like she's so ignorant for believing that. Because guess what? Universal law is natural. It's not necessarily normal. Just because you think something over and over again to make it normal does not mean it's natural. God intends for us to be this full expression of life, and that he has given us tremendous power through our mind to co-create like he does, because he has created us in his image. So just because up until now you have been forced to only believe what you see, you get to make this decision right now to change the way that you think. Open it up a little bit. And I think what's so cool about this for my friend is that this is one tiny little nugget of evidence that miracles can happen. And if miracles can happen in this way, then why couldn't miracles happen in other areas of her life? So oftentimes it's like we just want to control everything. We want to make everything just perfect because it feels safer. And we wait because we have to have all of the evidence, and we have to have all of the data, and we have to have all of the things lined up in order for them to work. But guess what? You can have quantum leaps without any more effort of your own, and you have massive results because you trust in the process and divine intervention. And so I'm going to challenge you right now to just where can I expand the possibilities? Where can I trust a little bit more than what I can see in front of me? What can I do to just let go a little bit and take on the belief that, you know what? It's totally possible. If they can do it, so can I. and allow for your subconscious to be able to accept that thought and watch what frickin' happens. It's so fun. All right, I want to remind you guys that we have the Get Out of God's Way Audible up and running. I'm so freaking excited. So go ahead and check that out. It's on Audible. I'm so freaking pumped for this because I've gotten so many people that are like, Lachelle, I love that I get to listen to your book with your voice. And it just makes it feel really real. Like it's a different experience when you listen to it versus when you read it. I also want to invite you guys to a quiz that I've created that essentially help you to discover what your biggest blocks are that are holding you back from massive success. Where are you self-sabotaging? What is getting in your way? And it's just really fun to kind of be like, holy crap, like I didn't even realize that. Or it might just be like, I'm doing pretty well. And that will just reaffirm that you're on the right track, right? So go ahead and grab that quiz inside of the show notes. And I am excited to hear from you guys. Send me messages back. Let me know where you've shifted in what you believe is possible. Let me know what you're willing to start believing. Let me know what this episode did for you, because this is a really big shift for a lot of people. But I got to tell you, like this friend, she's freaking amazing. She's got such massive faith in the Lord, but she also has a very analytical brain. She loves the details. She's in her past life, in this world before she left her career, was a financial advisor. Like she's very detail oriented with numbers. And this is a stretch for her, but she was willing to believe that it was possible. And literally, I'm in Minnesota. She's in Florida. We were meeting over Zoom, and I was able, with my software on my computer, to heal her pain because she allowed the Lord to work through me. She accepted it. She allowed her subconscious to take it on as the command, and it literally healed her body. I'm so excited for her. All right, you guys, I will see you next week, and I can't wait to hear from you and all of your perspectives. So, all right, until next time.
So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a breakthrough call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up. Head on over to im-lifebydesign.com/breakthrough or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, log into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.